Yo, what's going on, everybody? You said thumbnail, you've read the title, and today I want to talk about how Call of Duty could be so much better if the developers just listened to us. Now, before you click off the video and are wondering why is this video, however long it's going to be, to explain that COD would be better if the devs listened to us, or before you go, Arctic, no shit, Call of Duty would be better if the devs listened to us. Let me explain. You see, Call of Duty has kind of always had a problem with not listening to the community, especially during the game's life cycle. Call of Duty has kind of always had that problem of not really listening to the community. But what I'm more or less talking about in this video is on a game-to-game basis. And that's how Call of Duty could be better as a whole, is if they listen to us on a game-to-game basis more. But it seems like they don't want to. For example, we will take Black Ops 4. Black Ops 4 brought back specialists after COD World War II. The game right before it did not have specialists whatsoever. It had divisions, which was basically a part of the create a class system, but it wasn't really specialists. You weren't pulling out weapons or abilities mid-match. Black Ops 4 brought that back. I personally liked it. Kind of a hot take there, I know, but the vast majority of the community did not like specialists. So Modern Warfare 2019 rolls out. There's no specialists in that game. Vanguard rolls out, Cold War rolls out after that. There's no specialists in that game. The next Treyarch game doesn't have specialists in it. Vanguard rolls out, no specialists. Modern Warfare 2 rolls out, no specialists. It's safe to say we are probably not going to see specialists return in Call of Duty because people just generally don't like them. They listen to us there. But there is other examples like Vanguard launching with a lot of 6v6 content. Lots of maps, lots of new maps, some remakes, but a lot of new maps. A lot of guns, all have 70 plus attachments on them, and then you look at Modern Warfare 2, which has a decent amount of guns, very bad amount of 6v6 maps in it, and the attachments that are on those weapons, well, there's a lot of them, but you have to go and level up pretty much every gun in the game to actually get access to everything, and that was a cool new thing to try, right? But why didn't we take the biggest praise from Vanguard, which was, oh wow, look at this. The game has a bunch of content at launch. Whether you loved or hated Vanguard, you cannot deny that that was a good thing. And then Modern Warfare 2 comes out and just seemingly says, oh yeah, people like that about the last game. Let's not bring it in. It almost seems as though they pick and choose what they want to listen to. It almost seems as though they're like, yeah, we'll listen to this, but we're not going to listen to this from the last game. Like, again, going back to Vanguard, people praised Vanguard for having a ninja perk. Why the hell does Modern Warfare 2 not have a ninja perk? People praised Vanguard for having that. Why didn't we listen to that praise? We look at the negative backlash for 5 years straight of supply drops. There was a bunch of negative backlash. I understand that's an objective money thing, but generally speaking, people are going to spend more money on a game that they play more, and a game that people play more is a game that they enjoy more. So why didn't they listen to us sooner that we don't like supply drops? I don't know. It seems like they pick and choose what they want to listen to instead of just listening to the general community's, feedback on the game. They just decide to pick and choose what they want to listen to. There's hundreds upon hundreds of examples of this. For example, Pick 10 was praised for years on end, and so we stuck with Pick 10. Gunsmith comes out, people praise Gunsmith system, so they stick with Gunsmith system because people like it. I personally prefer Pick 10. I know a lot of people who prefer Pick 10, but generally speaking, it seems like people prefer the Gunsmith system over Pick 10, so we have stuck with the Gunsmith system, right? That's cool, we listen to that, but why don't we listen to some of the good stuff from the old games, and why does it seem like we pick and choose from some of the bad stuff? Skill-based matchmaking or engagement-optimized matchmaking has been complained about since frickin' Modern Warfare 2019, and they haven't tried just for one Call of Duty, for 1 year, to say, okay, maybe the community's right, let's try a game without this system in it, and just see what happens. Why haven't we done that? Why haven't we tried that yet? I mean, putting in engagement optimized matchmaking and skill-based matchmaking was a risk that they were willing to take. Why aren't they willing to take the risk of taking it out? I know that supposedly player retention is higher with skill-based matchmaking and engagement optimized matchmaking. Supposedly the player retention is higher, so taking it out would be a big risk, but it's 1 year. It's just 1 year, and you could put it back in in like 3 months of the game launching if it doesn't work out. And you could do an experiment to see whether people like it or dislike it. In fact, a development studio that did this really well was Behavior. If you don't know who Behavior is the studio who has developed Dead by Daylight. You see, Dead by Daylight was testing skill-based matchmaking, or better known in the DBD community as MMR now, for not multiple years, but at least about a year. They were testing this. They would go through cycles of having MMR on and seeing the results, seeing what happened, and they rigorously test this system until they thought it was good enough to bring to the game permanently. This is something a lot of people in Dead by Daylight don't really like. They don't enjoy MMR in the game, but to be honest, it's really not that bad anymore because, well, without going too deep into DBD, essentially it's virtually impossible to actually make a good functioning skill-based matchmaking system in that game because there is so much RNG involved in that game that can completely determine the outcome of a match. But with that aside, they listened to the community, they said that we didn't like it, and they kept tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it and tweaking it, and they eventually brought it in despite the fact that we didn't like it. But at least they listened to us when they tried to bring it in, and we said we didn't like it for the most part. And also, another thing Dead by Daylight has also done is they do a lot of public test builds, where they actually listen to the feedback of the community, because they understand that in order to keep the game alive, the community has to like it. The people who play the game have to enjoy the game to keep it alive. Now, Dead by Daylight hasn't been out for as long as Call of Duty has, but also Call of Duty is a new game every single year. Dead by Daylight's been the same game since like 2016. I think there's a pretty freaking big difference there of a game that survived for Dead by Daylight's length, or I don't even know, it's 2016, something around there. It's like 6 or maybe 7 years old almost now. And then Call of Duty, which has been around since 2003, which is 20 years old now. But it's got a new game installed into the franchise almost every single year. So, I don't know, man. I don't know. No Call of Duty has ever lasted 6 years. No Call of Duty has ever lasted that long before at least hackers have taken over the game. I don't know. It just shows to reason that, like, listening to the community works. I don't know why Call of Duty doesn't do it. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, yes, they should. I don't want Call of Duty to not try new things. I want each Call of Duty game to feel different so that it doesn't get boring. But if you try something new and people don't like it, then just don't put it in the next game. And if you try something new, like Gunsmith System, and people really like it, keep it around. If you try something new like Pick 10 and people really like it, keep it around. It's really not that hard. I don't know why Call of Duty doesn't do this. The game could just get exponentially better. Keep making changes, keep tweaking things between game to game to try and see what the community likes better, and just constantly keep experimenting. And then the game would just progressively, constantly keep getting better. But it just seems like they don't want to do that. I don't know. The game quality over time on like a bar graph would, in the majority of the community's eyes, would just consistently be getting better over time. But that doesn't seem like what it's been doing. It seems like what it's been doing over the past years has just been dropping. If you were to like put it on a graph, it's just been dropping. I don't know, man. It just boggles my mind. It really does. It really boggles my mind, and it's something I want to talk about because, you know, it's something I was thinking about. So if you guys did happen to enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like, sub the channel, turn on post notifications. Feel free to follow me on Twitter and join my Discord. Both those links will be down in the description. And with that being said, have a great rest of the day, everybody. Bye-bye. Peace out.